So in this video, let's tackle some of the big news that's happened over the past couple of days or so. There's been quite a lot, so it might be a bit of a longer video here. We'll be talking about some updates on the demo and a bit of a tease of what might be happening on the Sunday afternoon. So we'll talk a little about what that could potentially be, because it might just be really exciting, if it's what I think it is. As well as some updates on the problems that were in the previous VIP demo and what will be fixed for the free one. Of course, we'll be talking about all of the microtransaction controversy and kind of going over how it's been blown out of proportion, but it's still an important discussion to have. And then just a little bit of shade thrown Warframe's way. This is a bit of an old clip, but I did want to highlight it in this video as it's pretty funny. My name is Ryan Central. You can subscribe for more Anthem content. We do have a giveaway going on at the moment for the Legion of Dawn and a standard copy of the game. You can enter in the comments below, and it's super easy to enter, so do check that out. The first thing I did want to talk about is something that I missed off the video yesterday. For those who don't know, I did a video basically covering how the VIP demo played and was different to the playtest that we had last week. The playtest looking to be more like the final game than the VIP demo was. And we've kind of gone over how the demo wasn't very good. At least it didn't really paint Anthem and Bioware in a good light. For those that got into the game, it seemed that they had a lot of fun. A lot of really good comments coming out of the community saying it was everything that I expected it to be and more. Where some people that were kind of on the fence about the game didn't really care for Destiny, Division, Diablo, those kind of games. Just wanted to check out Anthem, kind of went, yep, this isn't for me. Some did it in a much more graceful way than others. But the question that I really want to ask and answer in this video is, should the demo have been defined as a closed beta? And hindsight is 2020, and the answer is of course yes. With all of the issues and problems that they had, Bioware should have definitely labeled this as a beta, because then the problems and all of the bugs and connection issues that they had was almost legitimized or warranted, because people would expect that to happen. But I think that Bioware and EA in a case went out on a whim and tried to do things the right way, and ironically it backfired. For a lot of companies, they do open and closed betas, and it's less about the testing and more of a PR stunt. I think you could even look at Overwatch's open beta, for example. Call of Duty last year with Blackout and the multiplayer game. Whilst yes, there is stress testing and bug fixing going along over the beta weekends, it was more of a chance for streamers to play the game, people to do their first impressions, and the marketing spin to start for a lot of these titles. I think Bioware had the right idea. They didn't want to spin this as a stress test or a test in any fashion. They wanted to be like a traditional demo and not really disguise it as a PR thing, just being outright saying, if you want to play the game or pre-order, play it now, we want you to try it. This is where the adverts and the streamers are going to be able to play the game, and all of the marketing will start. However, because of all of the problems and the testing that happened, it really ended up being a beta. So ironically, Bioware and EA were trying to make sure that Anthem didn't come across as a closed beta kind of vibe, kind of an unfinished broken game, but that's kind of how it went to be overall. So somebody put this in a comment somewhere, and I quote, "I didn't feel very much like a very important person, but more of a guinea pig," and you can't really say fairer than that. If Bioware defined it as a beta, a lot of these issues could have been avoided, and like I said, it leaves everybody with egg on their face. With that said, let's go over an update going over the VIP demo, the amount of people who played, and most importantly, the general fixes that will be going into the free demo next weekend and that won't be. This was a post that came from Bioware's head of live service, Chad Robertson, and it says that we've got a long list of things that were addressed during the weekend or are being addressed for next weekend's public demo. These include the entitlement bugs, which have to do with the pre-order elements, the vinyls that you should get, if you got a VIP code, if you got a friend pass, etc, how it defines what you should get. Server performance updates to address much of the rubber banding, pretty self-explanatory. Fixes for infinite loads and more being investigated. Thank God, I hope it's sorted for next weekend. Platform bugs to validate Javelin unlocks. Some people couldn't get their second Javelin at level 12, and so forth. And in client and platform login bugs. We had a good experience of this for the first hour and a half of Anthem's VIP launch. We're doing more scale testing this week, particularly to be ready for the opening Russia players on Friday, and to verify we've got infinite load problems improved, the latter of which was a primary frustration for many players, myself included. If you did or didn't get affected by this, let me know in the comments below. We've also been prepared for many weeks for our full launch. That version of the game already has a long list of things that have already been fixed that won't make the public demo weekend. This includes weapons with 0% infusions, weapons with bonuses that apply to different javelins, for example a storm gear piece improving a ranger's melee ability, which obviously you can't use, plot integrity and party gather issues, that whole system was broken for me, fixes for losing XP at the end of some expeditions, performance improvements, additional stability fixes, a social hub, which is a launch bay, and a few thousand more literally. If you want to see a good example of how the VIP demo compares to what's most likely going to be a close comparison to the final build of the game, you can check the video in the top right where we really break down the differences. They also went over some stats. They had nearly 9 million hours of play across the 2.5 days the demo was open, 1 million strongholds were completed, and 2 million grabbits were slaughtered. I only killed one, and I want that to be made very clear. I don't know how many crazy people have been going around killing all the grabbits, but there seems to be a good fair few of you. That all pales in comparison to this next bit. There's a general looking forward to seeing you next week, see you in game, but also in brackets, and make sure to stick around for Sunday afternoon. You'll see a glimpse of some of the cool things we'll be doing in the future. Now, this isn't a link to a Twitch stream or a YouTube video or anything like that. It sounds like whatever's going to happen will actually happen in the game, which is exciting because Anthem have spoken a lot about having this dynamic system going on in the world. Whilst there's only going to be 4 people in a free play mission at one time, everybody in the world experiences day and night cycles together. When it rains for everyone. When it's stormy for everyone, regardless of whether you're in the Oceanic region, NA, or EU. Everybody on all of the different servers will experience the same day, night, and weather cycles. So this might indicate that we may see something like a Shaper Storm in the game. Not like a sort of end game raid Shaper Storm kind of thing, but more of a mass world event doing stuff in the world that we can experience. Kinda like an invasion in World of Warcraft Legion, where a certain area of the map changes and there's various bits and pieces to do around that event. So what I would definitely say is to certainly keep your eye online, but even better, stay in game for the Sunday afternoon of the open demo, and there might be some pretty cool things happening out in the world, triggering a real life world event that, if it works, might get a lot of people interested in what Anthem can offer other than the typical cookie cutter looter shooter elements. So if they get that right, that would be perfect. Granted, it could just be a YouTube video or a Twitch stream going over some bits and pieces, but it sounds like this could be a really big deal if done properly. Next, of course, we need to highlight this picture. This was leaked from some gameplay, I believe last Thursday, where somebody showed off the in-game shop and how it looks and works. This is something that I've had hands on with myself, but at the playtest we were asked not to show this, and I'll go over why in a second, because it's really important to what's going on at the moment. As you can see in the picture, you have different skins that you can wear, different vinyls, fabrics, and also a gum on shoe emote. And you can see that there's 2 different currencies in the game. You have coins, which most of you experienced in the VIP demo. You earn those in game, you use it to spend on the new armor pack pieces, vinyls, emotes in the game, but you can also use these for crafting materials and also buying blueprints. This is important because this currency is only earnable in game, so there's no pay for power here. The currency that you actually pay real life money for are the shards next to it, and you can see the comparison between how much coins a certain armor pack costs. For example, let's look at the Guardian armor pack on the left. It costs 40,000 coins, but only 2,000 shards. This is all we know at this point. This is all the facts that's been put in front of us. However, some people are suggesting and really speculating that it would be $1 for every 100 shards, meaning that the skin on the left would cost $20, the emote would cost $12, the metal effect would cost $8, and the vinyl would cost $4. There's no confirmation of this. This isn't how the game is going to be, which goes back onto what I was saying before. We were asked to not show a couple of things in our playtest. The first was like the Cortex. There's a lot of game spoilers in there, and if we were to show that, people could spoil the story of Anthem. I think that's the same case for the tutorial, which we also weren't allowed to show, but it also might not be done yet. I don't really know the reason, but we were asked not to show the shop for the reason why this has kicked off, because people are looking at the prices of the shards and try to work out how much stuff would roughly cost. Whilst all of this is purely placeholder. None of these numbers, I would doubt and I would hope not, would be the same for the actual launch of the game. We were basically told that the economy system is not done, these were just put in place to show exactly how it would look. This was emphasized as well by BioWare themselves. Senior system designer Chris Schmidt says that these prices don't represent final, stamped for all of eternity pricing. We are iterating on our economy design and balance almost daily, so you're seeing a snapshot of one iteration. But we tend not to discuss things like pricing because this is one of those iterative things that's sure to change frequently right up until the day that you play the game. So please don't look at these skins as $20, $20, the emote being 12, the effect being 8, the vinyl being 4, because that's not likely to be the same. Does that mean that we shouldn't talk about this? No, because a lot of people have rightly highlighted in the right way to say to BioWare and EA, if the skins costed this much, we will not buy them. And I think that is perfectly valid. $20 for a skin is incredibly expensive. It's 1/3 of the game. Do I think that the prices are going to be this bad? I absolutely don't think so at all. It's very easy to go, oh, it's EA, of course they're going to be money grabbing, but for the most part, in BioWare's design, other than maybe rushing them a little bit, I think EA have been pretty good with how they've handled stuff and effectively kept their hands off it with no loot boxes, season pass expansions, that kind of stuff. Everything that you could buy in-game with real-life money, you can earn in-game too, and it's all purely cosmetic. You can't, for example, spend shards to buy blueprints or crafting material. That's just the coins in the game. So I did want to ask you guys in the comments to sort of get some really good feedback for BioWare, to be fair. How many dollars would you pay for a skin in Anthem just on one Javelin? Or would you pay more to have a full pack? For example, the Guardian armor, not only on the Ranger, but the Storm, Interceptor, and Colossus too. How much money would you spend? I think $5 is a fair amount for one, maybe $10 to buy a full pack. I'm not really sure, but I'll let you guys tell me what you think. I feel like this is a really important discussion to be having. I don't want to sweep this thing under the rug because this could certainly come back and bite BioWare in the ass a little bit. But I feel it is important to go, whilst we understand that these prices are not final and they're subject to change, we want to make it explicitly clear that we're not going to spend $20 on a skin. That is ridiculous. This is how much we'd pay instead. Because BioWare can take that back to EA or whatever and work it out for themselves to make a much more fair system in place to physically buy skins. Everything else around cosmetics I think is pretty good. And finally, we've had some pretty serious discussion topics on at the moment, so I figured I'd play a little bit of a fun clip from the Warframe devs, Digital Extremes. This happened a couple of weeks ago. It was a very busy time for the channel, so we didn't go over it then. But this came from one of their developer live streams, just throwing a little bit of fun at the Anthem team.
So we renamed Warframes, right? You think about Warframes, you rename them Jav...
Stop!
Oh! Javelins.
Javelins, yeah, javelins.
Okay. And then...
This is a mistake.
I am like the biggest fan of the studio. It's not shots fired.
Okay, it's not shots fired.
It's a nice little bit of shade thrown, I suppose, coming out of Warframe, kind of suggesting that the Javelins were taken from them, but of course they didn't seem very serious in that idea, just poking a bit of fun. But what was nice was the wholesomeness coming out of Ben Irving and also Rebulast, who is one of the Digital Extreme developers, and this happened on Reddit. Ben Irving put, the DE team does a great job with their live streams, they have a great relationship with their community and a very funny sense of humour. Rebulast replied saying, sending love to your team as you prepare for launch. So it was a nice little exchange between the two developers, and nice to see that there's a lot of love going on there. As I said, it's not a really serious thing at all, but certainly something more lighthearted that I wanted to end the video on. But all in all, that's what I wanted to cover in this video. We have some pretty big news happening Sunday afternoon, probably like Sunday evening, Sunday night for us Europeans, but I'm certainly going to keep my eye on and try and stay up to play it because it might sound like some awesome stuff may be happening in game, we just don't know yet. We of course have all of the microtransaction debate going on at the moment, some big concerns coming up and rightfully so, and just a little bit shade thrown from Warframe as Anthem prepares for launch. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you want more Anthem content, let me know how much you'd pay for a skin in dollars in the comments below, and take care, I'll see you soon.